So this video of me singing this song has got 86,000 views.
He's Brazilian.
Get your stats
out for the lad.
A bit offended by somebody making a comment on a podcast. I mean, don't watch. We won't miss you, you fucker. Unsubscribe.
Hello, welcome. It's the main cast. We do this every week. We review the week. This week we'll be talking about Chelsea, international break, Bielsa. Is he God or is there only one God? And we've got the Fulham game coming up. Leave a comment in the comment section and press subscribe if you're new around here. The following podcast contains some strong language and some very average opinions. Any references to actual people are wildly inaccurate. It's probably best if you don't listen at all. The Roaring Peacock Podcast. Welcome back to the Roaring Peacock main cast. In this main cast, we'll be talking about Chelsea, the international break. We'll be talking about Bielsa. Is he a divine entity? And we'll be looking ahead to Fulham. But first, the week began with a visit of Roman Abramovich's hobby he's got bored of now, Chelsea Football Club, to Ellen Road, one of the last and best grand old homes of English football. If you thought whinging, moaning, and shirking responsibility was over after Frank Lampard left, you'll be relieved to know that Tuchel does blaming erroneous things too, as he bemoaned Victor Orta's one-man West Stand. South Sanders might argue that even with only one Victor in attendance, the West Stand has never made more noise. But no matter match of the day's analysis, the mighty Whites were good value for a point and could have even had more in a brilliant performance against a very expensive side. And news broke over the weekend which got our fan base scratching our heads for distant memories as Adam Forshaw returned to training. It's a redemption long in the making as the Liverpudlian has missed more games due to injury than he has taken part in. In fact, it's 536 days out. So, about half the amount of days since we've won in London. Speaking of winning in London, we play Fulham on Friday night.
Hey.
Let's face it, if we don't win that, we might as well just fucking forfeit all our future London games. At least we'd avoid unnecessary injuries, like the one that has kept Adam Forshaw out for 536 days. And speaking of unnecessary fixtures and injuries, the international break's coming up.
Yay!
With Click, Roberts, Llorente and Alioski already called up, while Meslier and Huggins have been called up to the younger sides. International under-23 games. Let's hope when they call it a break, they don't mean literally. And coming up, another seamless segue as, speaking of breaks, it is heartbreak for the Leeds women's team as their season was officially canned. Best wishes to the women from all of us here and hope that they can come back stronger after their break. And the under-23s got revenge for the defeat to Newcastle earlier in the season. And for more on the under-23s, don't listen to us, listen to the Youth Pod. And in non-Leeds related news, countries in Europe are stopping the rollout of the Oxford vaccine, proving that it's not just the British government that can completely ignore the science and unnecessarily cause more deaths in doing so. If only European leaders had had the vaccination, they'd be able to Google the advice from scientists using Bill Gates' microchip in their brain. And the royal family have come under scrutiny as Prince Philip has left hospital. It's unknown how they keep reanimating his corpse. But whether it's voodoo, black magic, Masonic ritual, or modern science, they really need to stop it. Let the man rest. There's a reason they call it natural causes.
That lad's one Sour Patch Kid away from it, though, isn't he, really? He just... Spicy sweet. Dead.
And women have protested against abuse and harassment against them, as well as a government bill aiming at giving police the power to restrict protests. Of course, the familiar Men's Lives Matter merchants were out in force in response. Well, yes, men's lives do matter, just not men's opinions when women are telling us about abuse and harassment. And Spain are trialling a 4-day working week. And what's that? Breaking news. We're moving to Spain. We're off. Okay, we're off. It's been 27 main casts and out for us at the Roaring Peacock. Hope you've enjoyed it. And just when you thought the blades couldn't get more blunt, Chrissy, them Muppets Wilder, voted leave. And the Sheffield Union was dissolved. Unfortunately not on a Wednesday. But as they are hecking bottom, there can only be one man for the job. Agent XG.07. Licensed to kill all hope. And oh dear. And that was your week. So my name's Adonis, and you know me as @theadelites on Twitter. It's a very good hello from me. Joining us to discuss all of that and much more is our resident Riot Badger @Riot Badger.
Good afternoon, everyone. If I'm glitchy, it's because I'm on my mobile.
And Machiavelli @Ewan Metcalf. Ewan.
Now then, if I'm glitchy, it's because Virgin is shit.
Right. You can't. You should have got
Allegedly.
You should have got somebody more experienced if you wanted to fuck you.
Come on, nobody wants that gig. Let's be serious.
Can't be Virgin. It goes down too much.
Right then, that week. First thoughts. Anything stand out?
There's a lot that stands out for me. The vaccine thing just baffles me. Just absolutely baffles me. Because I don't trust this government with anything, but I do trust the science. And the science shows that blood clotting isn't caused by the vaccine, and it's in line with the population that doesn't have the vaccine. So why ban one and not the other? Something's going on that we don't know about.
If only there was a vaccine against Manchester United.
Well, yeah.
Ewan? First thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, on that, the vaccine, I mean, I've got mine tomorrow. So, hopefully I'm still here on, for the match review next week.
Been nice knowing you.
Thanks, mate. Thanks for the vote of confidence. I'm going to Ellen Road tomorrow to have my first vaccine because I'm old, so I'm in there. So I knew this haircut and being old would come in useful one day, and with lockdown and barbers being shut,
right,
and the vaccination being prioritised by age has helped me out. But yeah, I mean, like Alex, I've always felt there's something else going on. Yes, of course, there's a vaccine. Yes, of course, there's a virus. Yes, of course, it's tragic what's happened to people. But I still think there's just lots of stuff seems to be coming up at the moment, which I just don't like. I don't trust the government. Simple as. Never have, never will.
At least with the microchip, you'll be able to get better internet.
Yeah, possibly. I'd like to think so. Always an upside.
So Chelsea then. Badger.
They were shit, weren't they? They were nowhere near as good as they were under Lampard, which is hilarious. So I think our pitch probably played a little bit into that because there's just not much grass left on a grass pitch, is there? But yeah, I'm happy with the point. Happy with that. I'll come away with it. I'm kind of disappointed we didn't nick one. I thought Raf's chance should have gone in. How that didn't drop to Harrison, I've no idea. But yeah, I'll take a point off them.
Yeah, I was on the review, so you've already had my views on it. But
yeah, that's it. So this week, how to introduce this? Basically, there was a suggestion for a chant for Raphinha. Okay, this came out in January, as far as I know. That was the earliest time I noticed it. It was a YouTube comment on one of the official videos on YouTube, and I shared it. And I got a message request, and I looked in it, and it was a bloke from one of these supporters organizations, and he said, "Oh mate, can you delete that tweet because I'd left the person who wrote the YouTube comment the lyrics to it. He's Brazilian. He didn't even cost 20 million. Raphinha is fucking brilliant, and he plays on the wing for Leeds." So that was a comment. And he said, "Can you delete that? Because that's the person who did that. He's actually 14, and he's scared that he's going to get in trouble from his dad." So anyway, so it was January. So then, come the other day on the official Leeds United podcast, I noticed that Emma Jones gave an attempt at singing it. Like, the look of horror in Beckford's eyes is fantastic. If you want to pause it at that moment, it's beautiful.
She belts it out, though,
singing.
to be fair. I mean, yeah.
You have to give it, like, whoa, the confidence, and just, she really belted it out. It was, a good rendition.
Great
let's
lungs.
say.
Got great lungs, Emma.
Lungs. And that's what all the comments are about.
Sure,
now I understand.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Two of them.
Yeah,
Two of them.
a great pair. And I never knew what that was, but they're all talking about lungs.
I thought
so
it
that's
was
great.
misogynistic language. It's not. It's just about lung capacity. That's
right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Got to be careful this week, haven't we?
We've been judging all those men so harshly. We were just assuming what they were talking about.
Yeah, terrible.
Anyway, so I've got my guitar out, David Brent style, and I've belted out my own version. And to be fair to me, I belted it out. Great set of lungs on me as well. So
Lovely
there you go,
pair,
Emma.
mate. Lovely pair.
Lovely pair on the old Donny. And we can listen to that now.
He's Brazilian. He didn't even cost 20 million. Raphinha, he's fucking brilliant. And he plays on the wing for Leeds.
And this video of me singing this song has got 86,000 views.
Phil Wembley with that.
Why? It wasn't that good, honestly.
So 86,000 views on what? Just everything?
Twitter.
On Twitter.
Just on Twitter? Wow.
Yeah. I don't put it up anywhere else. So, but why are we talking about it, you ask? Why are you talking about it, Adonis? Well, Richarlison replied.
Oh, I saw that.
The Richarlison. And he said, thanks, and put a GIF with him tapping his head. Just showing me where I can move in now. There you go.
And I believe the rent is zero charge. It's fine.
Right.
Yeah.
So I haven't done the research here, but Man City sing a song to Edison with the same tune. Sheffield United sing a song about Sander Berg because he's Norwegian. I don't know how they sing it.
I mean, the first I heard it with a Richarlison one, because there's the video of a kid and it'll be that Scouse accent. Fucking brilliant. And yeah.
Right. I'd honestly never heard it from Everton because we were in the Championship and I just don't pay much attention to them at all anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
But I've got fucking thousands of them. Fucking thousands of these fucking toffees in the mentions. You fucking thief.
You've stolen our fucking song, mate.
And that's just perfect.
You've stolen our fucking song, mate.
Hey,
So
soft lad, you
that was
stole
my
our
story
fucking
of the
song,
week.
mate. You stole our fucking song, mate.
The thing
That's
is,
not right.
give it
That's
back.
not right.
chants
That's
are all
Manchester.
recycled. Chants are all recycled from
course they are.
different clubs. You know, get over it, Richarlison.
Right. I just find it weird that Richarlison himself responded.
Yeah, because somebody must have notified him of it as well. Because how is he going to find that? He's not tagged in it. You know, the Everton hashtag's not in there. So somebody must have sent to us, here, look at this. Somebody's singing your song, but it's for somebody else.
Yeah, we've got Everton fans tagging him in the comments.
Sad state of affair.
Okay, so that's enough of that. International break then. Should we be doing international breaks during a pandemic?
No. Because, you know, they're suspending the vaccine over in Europe, you know, and there's only 80% of the populace that's got a vaccine over there. We're basically sending a healthy set of footballers to get infected and then come back and bring it back here. No thanks.
Sounds like when they used to go to Tallinn in the 80s. You sending them abroad to get infected and then come back. It's something completely different. It's a joke, isn't it? I mean, listen, they're saying that they're more tested than anybody else, and they're quite in quite a safe environment in a bubble, but it defeats the object of what everybody else is trying to do of restrict movement, and it just goes against the grain. Like you say, what is the point? And I just think it sends out a really bad message. And as Alex has rightly pointed out, somebody could, catch it and come back and miss a significant part of the season for their club who pays their wages. So, no, it's bollocks.
So, here's the question.
I don't want to qualify for World Cup.
Right. So there's 3 games coming up for England. And we're just going to focus on England because I guess we're English. But it can apply to anyone, I guess. England play San Marino Thursday, 25th. There's an important one. Away to Albania. There you go. Extremely important that we play away to Albania. And England versus Poland. There you go. That's Click and Phillips running into each other, both out for 536 days.
Double concussion. Yeah, 2 ACLs.
Right. Yeah,
we've all come back from Albania with an infection. To be fair,
do we need to be playing World Cup qualifiers? We qualify. I mean, was it 94 the last time we didn't qualify? I don't get it. Like, you don't make Ronnie O'Sullivan qualify, and we're not Ronnie O'Sullivan. That'd be Brazil or something, wouldn't it? But we're not even John Higgins. Let's face it. Fucking hell, who are we?
This analogy is failing because we're getting down to like some bloke in the back room of a club. Yeah. Like, oh, yeah, I'm not bad.
The guy who's quite good at Sheepscombe Working Men's Club.
Right. Yeah. Well, just pick some average snooker player that is better than average, and they don't make him qualify. That's England. We shouldn't have to be qualifying, should we? We shouldn't have to be fucking prove that you can beat San Marino before you're allowed into our World Cup. We don't need to fucking prove everybody can beat San Marino. Fucking blind school could beat San Marino.
Didn't they beat us? Pretty sure they beat us, didn't they?
Well, if they beat anyone, it's probably us.
They scored against us, didn't they?
Oh, that's it. Yeah, that was the surprise.
They got the first goal when Pierce made a mistake, didn't he? And they scored first. And it was like, oh, we're going to get beat by San Marino. I think it was 8-1 in the end. So. But that guy, I've been to San Marino, and that guy is an absolute legend in that principality. I've forgotten his name now. But
because
I'm sure
because he scored a goal.
Because he scored a goal against England. And they were 1-0 up for like 3 minutes.
San Marino's version of Newcastle fans with like this fella tattooed on their arm and shit.
Honestly. I'm sure he's a waiter or something, or was. I'm sure he's like a proper... It's honestly,
he always delivers.
Yeah, exactly.
He always gets a tip.
It's absolutely unbelievable. He's like a proper hero because he put San Marino 1-0 up for 3 minutes.
Moving on then. We got a YouTube comment. Should we talk about this?
Oh, God.
I don't even think we mentioned that
Should
Bielsa
I say,
was
oh, God?
God. I don't think we did. I mean, I was there at the time when we recorded it, then I edited it, then I watched it back. So I've seen it 3 times at this point. Anyway, what the person has said on YouTube is, there's only one God and people should stop calling Bielsa that because it's offensive. What do we think about this?
Fuck off. Done.
I think Alex made his feelings clear in response. I can't even dignify stuff like that with a response. Listen, we're just having a chat. It's like we're in the pub having a chat. We're not going to think about all our P's and Q's. And if we did, it'd be a shit watch, wouldn't it? So, I don't ever remember calling him that. And it's not a phrase I use. And it's like adulation and somebody that you look up to. It's not meant in that typical term. And in that, that genuine term. And I just think, fuck off. What you got no better to do. A bit offended by somebody making a comment on a podcast. I mean, don't watch. We won't miss you fucker. Unsubscribe.
Any advance on fuck off and we won't miss you fucker? Badge? For me, it's quite a nuanced sort of problem because for me, I was brought up religious, went to religious schools, brought up a Catholic, went through all the sacraments. And when my mum and dad divorced, the church essentially didn't recognise the divorce and caused loads of fucking problems. And then when the divorce went through, essentially we weren't recognised by the church. So when a religion abandons you, and this is a side bit. If you go into the comments, you'll see the shit that I said. But this is a side argument to it, because the comment replied to somebody and said, "Oh, if you were brought up a Catholic, you should know better." And the thing is, yes, I do know better about how religion treats people, and this is all because you believe in a God, and that's fine. And if you believe in a God and a religion brings value to your life, fantastic. It's much like a priest's penis. It's fine to have a religion, but just don't shove it down my throat.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? It's like I think it's the oldest tenet of what's the oldest religion in? Is it paganism?
Probably
in Britain.
Yeah, well, paganism. Yeah.
Yeah, the one tenet of that is, "And it harm none, do what thy will." So if it doesn't hurt somebody else, like, do what you want, basically. And that's what it is for me. Is like, if you start getting into this, there's only one God and it's my God bullshit.
Yeah.
Then that's offensive to me, because there's 1,000 different gods, and fucking you can look that up. There are.
Yeah.
And there's even religions with multiple gods. And you can also look that up if you're interested. I wouldn't recommend it. Pretty fucking boring.
Yeah.
Let's talk about football. Okay, let's go.
I think it's a tongue-in-cheek term of adulation towards somebody that we love, isn't it? And to get offended by it, it's like you sat there waiting to get offended, and I just don't like all that stuff. And but like you say, each to their own. I'm not a judgmental person, but I just think it's completely out of context and unnecessary, and why bother?
There are people that call Ellen Road church, right?
There you go.
And to them, to some people, it might not be the same as a answer for the afterlife and spiritualism and everything, but to them, it's very similar to a religion, or how religious people feel about their religion. We feel about our football team. And going to Ellen Road and us scoring a goal or a winning goal against Man United might be very similar to a religious experience that other people would have. It might be. And that community that we have might be the same or very similar to the community that people have when they go to an actual church. So there's two sides to it. It's just fuck off and just fuck off.
When you go to a church, much like Ellen Road, you queue up for a disappointing snack.
Right. Yeah, exactly. The holy sacrament of the hot dog.
Meal deal 4 is some altar wine and a wafer.
Right. Yeah. The holy sacrament of the meal deal 4.
What's this? Jesus Christ.
Take this pie, my son.
This is the body of pie.
This is the body of Brolin.
I've heard loads of people blaspheme when they open one of them, when they bite into one of them burgers.
Jesus fucking. Yeah. It's the thing with that is that comment. The commenter has thought that they are bang in the right, and that there is no there's no sort of grey area or anything like that. I don't like when people refer to one God offensive. All right, cool. We're not going to change what we're doing just because you're offended because your Sky Fair is threatened by somebody calling somebody else God. Sorry.
Sorry. That was the most insincere sorry I've ever heard you say.
Sorry.
I'm not going to apologise. Sorry. I need to apologise. Fuck him. Yeah.
Now it's time for Get Your Stats Out for the Lads. Get your stats out for the lads.
Good evening, boys.
Hello,
Good evening, Stats.
How are you doing?
Very well, very well. How are you lot?
Not too bad at all, thanks, mate. Stats. Whoa! So, Stats, how's your week?
Yeah, been a good week. 0-0 against Chelsea, which I thought was a positive result. The Storm haven't done the double over us in many a moon. Certainly in the top flight, I think, since the 1930s, as I mentioned on the show last week. And yeah, I'm just desperate to end this London hoodoo on Friday night because it's getting beyond ridiculous, to be honest with you.
Okay, so do you have some stats or info for us from that Chelsea game then? Let's have a look at that.
Yeah, they still haven't done the double over us in the top flight. I know they did the double last in 88-89 when they were last in the second division. Yes, Chelsea were a second division team back in the day before
the oil
all that money took over with Abramovich and have it with the real money. You then have to go back, I think it was 1934-35 season, for the last time they did a double over Leeds in the top flight. And amazingly, Marcelo Bielsa's side still hasn't lost 3 league games in a row since he's been here. You have to go back to the Thomas Christensen's era back in November 2017 when we last lost 3 in a row, which off the top of my head was Derby at home 2-1, Sheffield United at home 2-1, and Brentford away 3-1. And even back then, I thought Christensen might not be the man for the job. So yeah, some pleasing stats to come out of that from what I thought was a really good defence display on Saturday.
Right. So that's Chelsea out of the way. Now, London.
Yes.
We've just been speaking about Adam Forshaw being out for 536 days, and that's maybe half as long as the London curse. So days since we've won in London. So just give us all of your London stats right now. It's going to be depressing, isn't it?
Yes, since we last won in London, obviously it'll be on Friday, it'll be 1,195 days.
Right.
Which is 39 months and 10 days, which is 170 weeks and 5 days, and a lot of hours and a lot of minutes. It'll be over 28,000 minutes, which is unbelievable, since we last won a game in London, which is absolutely crazy.
Who's counting?
So yeah, 1,195 days on Friday since we last won a league game in London on December the 9th, 2017, away at Queen's Park Rangers. So I'm praying that come Friday night against the Fulham side that are battling for their lives at the wrong end of the table, that Leeds can get 3 points and move on to 39 points and just about put any doubts that are creeping in, which I'm sure there isn't, to one side and to get a result at Craven Cottage.
Boys, have you got anything for stats? You want to ask him anything while he's here?
So what's his record against Fulham then? What we're looking at? Where's my bets going?
Good question. We're looking to do the double over the Cottagers for the first time since 1984 to 1985 season. That was in the old second division. However, in the top flight, looking to do the double over them for the first time since 1967, 1968. And we don't actually have a very good record at Fulham. I know this is not what you want to hear with our London record. But through the Premier League years, 2001-2 was Robbie Fowler's debut. We drew 0-0 for the Cottage in a dire game, which I seem to record on Prem Plus. 2002-3, we lost 1-0 at Loftus Road. Obviously, Fulham was switched the game because Craven Cottage was undergoing reconstruction. And 2003-4 in the top flight, we lost 2-0 in March 2004. So we haven't got a great record. We did win there under Neil Redfern at the Cottage by 3-0 back in March 2015. Sam Byram, Sol Bamba with his first goal for the club, and Mirko Antonucci with a goal. So hopefully history can repeat itself. But it won't be easy. Scott Parker's got them playing well. Okay, Manchester City last time out wasn't, everybody loses to Manchester City apart from Leeds. So yeah, I had to get that one in. I'll eat my words come mid-April when we go to the Etihad, which will be fun and games. But yeah, it's an opportunity for Leeds to finally put to bed this London hoodoo.
Yeah.
Sheffield United have got rid of Chris Wilder and they've appointed a certain Heckingbottom. You said that we didn't lose 3 in a row with him, but we didn't have a very good record at all.
Amazingly. No, off the top of my head, I think it was 3 wins in 14. Actually did beat a Brentford side, which is quite unfamiliar for Leeds United down the years. Liam Cooper got the only goal of the game, and Dean Smith then blamed the grass for the loss, which I seem to remember. I think Craig Didgy-Wilson came out with some great emojis on Twitter with Leeds United. So yeah, I think it might be 4 wins. Actually beat Brentford. I think he got a result against Barnsley. Didn't win an away game. Got a result against Club Barnsley as well.
Wait,
strange times.
Did we win on our post-season tour to the beautiful and very stable Myanmar?
Myanmar. Crikey, I tried to forget that political talk. Got a lot of people speaking. I think we might have won one game at the back end of it, yes, with some strange squad numbers. I think Ryan Henderson.
Paul Heckingbottom's only away win.
Absolutely, I think J. Roy Grott scored an absolute blinder. So yes,
the commentator on that as well. The commentator turned around and said, "Oh, put that on a mem on Twitter and like it." A mem.
Right, a mem.
Yeah.
There you go.
It was.
So yeah, but
it was a missile. It was a missile from J. Roy Grott in Myanmar.
Yes, it wasn't.
Sadly, not the only missile to be shot there recent times.
No comment. But yes, let's put this London hoodoo to rest and let's go into the international break on a high. Looking forward to Paul Heckingbottom's Sheffield United. In a few weeks' time.
Okay, and just enough time then for your thing. What's your thing this week, Stats?
This thing, I am getting my beard trimmed this weekend. It is, as you can rightly see, it's grown very, very quickly. So, yes, it'll be a beard trimming weekend. With it being at least playing on Friday night, gives me a chance to try and smatter myself.
To be the Flymo round, Stats?
Yeah, I think you might have to, Ewan. I think you might have to.
I know a good landscape gardener, mate.
I mean, Ewan, let's face it, what would you know about
It's amazing.
Hey, listen, grass don't grow on a busy street, look.
It started off as a joke as a lockdown beard back in the first lockdown, and it's just kind of grown quite literally from there on in. So,
understandable.
Hey, it'll look better.
Well, enjoy the game, Stats. Enjoy your shaving.
Thank you very much.
And hopefully we'll see you next week for more Stats.
Look forward to it.
Do you have
a man bun? Get a man bun, Stats. Get a man bun. I think you should go for that hipster. You should go for that hipster look, man.
Also, go for the man bun. But when you're doing your beard, shave one half off perfectly. Put lipstick on that side and do a duet.
Yes.
Elton John and Kiki D. Get it sorted.
Something like that. Yeah.
Interesting.
Something like that.
All right, Stats. You got something to say?
Yes. That's all, folks.
Thanks, mate.
Cheers, bud.
Cheers, Stats.
Cheers, Stats.
Goodbye.
Have a
Great weekend, mate. See you next week. There we go. Stats all for Stats.
Yeah, he'll be glad of getting rid of that beard. It's always nice to get rid of a big beard, especially in summer. Oh my word, he wouldn't be able to survive with that.
So weight off your chin.
It literally is. It's when you shave it off and discover that lockdown has put another chin there. That's the sad bit.
Only time I've had a beard like that was when Leeds had the 15 points and I swore that I wouldn't shave until we won. Until we got beat. And it was a good few months, wasn't it? So I remember walking down the street one day and my mate shouted, "Salman Rushdie" at me. And I thought, it's the only time I've ever wished us to get beat because it was like,
we
had a
have
box
got 2-0, baby.
It's not good. Yeah, terrible. But I'd never do it again.
I had a very long beard and very long hair at one point. And I remember I was visiting my dad in Coventry and walked down the road to go to the off license, and car speeding down the road and screeches on its brake. Guy winds down his window and goes, "Jesus!" and then speeds off again.
I used to do a tour beard. Well, we all used to. Those that could grow beards because we did tour with women. So we'd grow the beard for the duration of the tour. So we'd probably
didn't have any Eastern European women with you then?
No, we didn't. Know. Well, actually, yeah, we did, but no.
I've seen a few that can grow beards.
She wasn't capable of wearing.
You shouldn't ever say that women can't do the same things as men, though, Alex. You should know that by now.
I said those of us on the tour that were capable of growing beards. I didn't specify a gender at that point.
Including the women.
So I got to the point where it would be probably 4 or 5 weeks in. I'd come back and then you've got to go back to reality and go back to work. So I went up to Asda, picked up a Gillette. Oh, great, this will be good. Went up to the checkout. Went, "You got any ID, love?" I don't know. I don't think I have. I don't think I have.
For a razor?
Yeah, you had to be 16 to buy a razor at that point.
Jesus.
And I didn't have any idea on me, so I had to walk out. Like, it's just
So you went and bought some glue instead.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
That's an amazing stat, though, isn't it? That how many days it is since we've won in London. I was going to ask him, is there anybody else who has a similar? I mean, he probably wouldn't know, would he? Because he's proper Leeds, isn't he? But
Yeah,
there can't be any other team.
That, wouldn't we?
Yeah, there can't be any other team that's not won in London for that amount of time. Can't be.
So moves us nicely on then to Fulham. Are we confident?
I am confident just from a team-on-team basis, looking how they defended against Man City. I know it's Man City, but down the right, they are very vulnerable. And we've got Raphinha on the right, so that might be some area of success for us. But the fact that we're playing in London, still, I don't know. I won't bet my house on it.
This is time to do it, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think it's the game to do it. They must know. There must be people telling them, or they must be aware of it. And I think if ever there was a chance to go and get a result in London, this is the one. So I'm pretty confident. I think we've done the double. Nobody gets done the double over very often, do they, in a league season? And I just fancy us to do this one.
We played quite well in the reverse fixture. I think we went 4-1 or 4-0 up.
Yeah.
And then they came back with two or three goals, almost threw it all away, and we were looking so comfortable. I'd like a less stressful win if we're going to win, and if we're going to lose, let's just lose, and maybe just forfeit the game, walk off at half time. We could pretend all our players are injured so they don't have to go on the international break.
Yeah, but if we do win, now's the time. If we do win, it puts us on 39, doesn't it? So 1 point away from essentially mathematical safety. So let's get a win.
That's the other incentive. In it, Alex, is the incentive to sort of get the next two games to get maximum points is a massive incentive for us because it absolutely guarantees us. Done it 6 points, we're safe. Even if we get 3 on Friday, I reckon we're almost there. We're there, aren't we?
Yeah,
I think Fulham are the only ones who can get themselves out of it or catch us. Yeah,
there's much more pressure on Fulham than there is on us.
If we beat Fulham, I think that's us safe.
Right. Strong statement.
Right. Not even Leeds can. No? It's nailed on. How do you say it?
Yeah.
Nailed on.
It's nailed on, that. It's nailed on.
Right, nailed. It's promotion for Leeds nailed on this season. It's every Scottish. There's no nuance in my Scottish accent. There is. Maybe I should just give up trying to do accents. It's not working for me.
All you need to do is watch Behind Her Eyes on Netflix, and that is the worst Scottish accent I've ever heard. Right. Oh, my word. I could not... I nearly quit out after the first episode. And then I watched it all and I was like, should have. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's... I won't spoil it.
Difference of opinion on the...
Aside from Behind Her Eyes, then, anything else that we want to get off our chests for this week?
People moaning about us criticising players on here. Let's just have it out there.
Okay, yeah, let's do that. So we got a tweet about us criticizing. Well, me. Probably it was me. It was probably critical of me. Criticizing
a bit of me, I think.
Tyler Roberts. Yeah. So, what do we think? Do you want to talk about this, Ewan?
Well, only briefly, because again, I don't like to give these people much airtime, but I think that. Do you know what? We don't. You can go and get some boring, sterile podcast if you want. Right. Yeah. We not by design, but we sort of do it like we've gone back in the pub after the game. We're having a chat about the game, don't we? That's kind of our MO, really, our mantra. And in the pub, you're allowed to say, I wasn't pleased with that player, or I didn't think they were great, or they didn't perform, or have an opinion other than, yes, in the ground, I don't like people slating players, moaning when players aren't having a good game, and that can have an impact on that player's confidence or performance. I just don't think it's fair to say that we should all just, we're Leeds United, so we just must say everybody's great every week and back the players. And we are backing the players, but you are allowed to have an opinion that's different to others, and you are allowed to say, I don't think he's particularly good. I mean, during that Cellino era, we were supposed to just go and say Bianchi was great, and Belushi was great, and Spaghetti Hands was brilliant because the Leeds, and let's just get behind the players. They fucking weren't good enough. And there's certain players who are in that team now who we believe, rightly or wrongly, we don't believe they're good enough. That's our opinion. We're allowed to have one.
Right, Badger?
Don't like
Are we allowed to have opinions on players?
Well, unless we want to turn into the North Korea of fucking podcasts. I mean, the thing is, right, if we're criticising Tyler Roberts, I don't think that criticism should come as a surprise to Tyler Roberts. If he came across this podcast and we're like, oh, I'm really fucking bored, not in that accent, obviously, but, and then he listens to our podcast and goes and hears that criticism, I don't think it's going to be a fucking surprise to him, because I think he will be well aware with the coaching team that we've got of the shortcomings in his game. I think, and I said this during the game, if Tyler Roberts can speed up his decision-making by about 50-60%, we've got a player there. But at the minute, he isn't doing good enough. And for us to say that, his opinion, criticism is not abuse, and abuse isn't criticism. We've got to be able to give his opinion on somebody's football. It's not a criticism of him as a person. It's not a criticism of his work rate or his work ethic, because I think he does put in a shift. He tries to. But I think sometimes it just is the wrong decision making. I think sometimes it's the right decision, but it's been made too late. His pass, he releases the ball too late. If you don't want to hear them sort of opinions, subscribe to the official Leeds United podcast and listen to Emma Jones sing the song about Raphinha. That might be more your thing, and that's no hard feelings whatsoever. But if you want some sort of opinion from people who want to speak honestly and without having a filter, listen to the Peacocks.
At no point have we ever claimed to have any kind of analytical knowledge or give you any reason to take what we say seriously.
Fuck no.
we're just some blokes. We're not football analysts. We're not ex-professional footballers. We're not paid football pundits. If we have an opinion, that's just because we're some normal guys who have an opinion. And if you want to take that on board and take it personally, that is your problem. That is not our problem. Okay.
And somebody else's decision making needs to be booked up. He's God's, because if he does exist, he's put a worldwide pandemic in that's killed millions and millions of people.
And even worse, he's made the Roaring Peacock podcast.
Yeah, so forgive us.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing as well. I think we're crossing criticisms here now. We're trying to push God onto the guy who just wanted us to talk nicely about Roberts.
And we will want nothing more than to come back the week after a game where Tyler Roberts has had an absolute stormer for us to go, you know what, we're fucking wrong.
Exactly.
So
I've spent fucking 4 months saying how wrong I was about Bamford.
Yeah.
Because and if you say to me now that you thought Bamford was going to be one of the fucking leading players for the Golden Boot, you're lying.
I knew, mate. I knew.
Yeah, if you're out there and you're going to tell me that you thought Bamford was going to get in the England squad for Euro 2021, I'm calling you out now as a fucking liar.
I don't agree with you labeling me like that. I knew straight away. You know, when he scored that goal against Bolton, I knew he was going to be our Premier League striker. Nah, nobody fucking knew. Nobody knew that he would attain the levels that he has, and it's a testament to his work rate, his ethic. Because I think the shift that he puts in and closing people down, he's pressing the keeper all the time up to the 90th minute. You'd have never seen that, like when he first started. You'd never seen him do it in his previous teams. Never saw him do it at Borough. But yeah, he's doing great, and we can turn around and say that. We don't want Tyler Roberts to fail just to validate our opinion. We want Tyler Roberts to say, fuck you, Peacocks, I'm an amazing player. And we'll be happy with that.
No, it's definitely the way that you want them to do well, don't you? And you hope that Tyler, like Bamford, he could look at him as a great example, couldn't he, of somebody who's been criticised and has come out the other end and has proven everybody wrong. But if we're not just here to say that everybody's great and let's get behind him, if it was one bad game, half an hour, bad 50 minutes, whatever, that's not what it's about. It's week in, week out. And I said it, he's had an opportunity to prove that he's worthy of that starting place. And I don't think he's done it. And I don't think it's for any lack of effort or, commitment on his behalf. He just lacks that consistency, and that's all we were sort of saying. And God bless, I hope he proves me wrong. I hope he goes on to be a brilliant player for us.
There we go. So have we fucking finished talking about that?
Yeah, done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're allowed to
I just thought it
criticise
was worth
players, but if you fucking think that you're going to criticise the Roaring Peacock, you're going to get
Yeah,
it.
you can piss off.
You'll get 10 minutes of our podcast dedicated to your single comment.
And it really wasn't that bad. It was just like, guys, he's 22. Can we just be nicer to him? No, fair enough.
It was very politely and kindly put, and we're not having a go at the individual, but we're just saying, look, if you're on the wrong podcast if you don't want to hear the odd honest opinion about players. Simple as.
Right. So, final thoughts then.
Final thoughts is listen to women. That's it.
Okay. Ewan?
Oh, how can I follow that? Final thoughts are...
Well, are you a woman?
Don't listen to women. Final thoughts. Never listen to women. I'm joking. Listen, I just think there's a lot of divisive stuff going on around the world. The media are kind of loving this, aren't they? And don't listen to any of it. Most people are great people and good people. Try to do the right thing and, reach your hand out and help your brothers and sisters and your neighbours and be nice and be kind. Unless you criticise the podcast, in which case you get it double barrel.
Okay, excellent. So we are the newborn baby of Leeds United Podcasts. If you like our show, please tell your friends, please tell your mates, please subscribe. Reach out to us on Twitter at Peacock's Raw. Find us on YouTube, The Roaring Peacock. And that's about it. What else? Instagram, TikTok, WhatsApp.
Yeah.
What else?
Add us on Bebo and
right.
I think Club Penguin.
Club Penguin. If you like a lot of chocolate on your penguin, join our Club Penguin podcast.
Are you making these up?
Club Penguin did used to exist. It doesn't exist anymore.
Did it?
Bebo used to exist, and MySpace used to exist. Friendster used to exist.
How could I forget MySpace? Check us out on MySpace, guys.
I still have probably 200 stickers from my old band with a MySpace address on. It's the most aged thing ever, and I don't know what to do with them. They're somewhere.
Is myspace.com, is that available? Maybe we could buy myspace.org.
myspace.org and just start a whole new social network that doesn't steal your data and then cause a country to vote for Brexit. Yeah.
Oh dear. So on that Cambridge Analytica note, it's a very goodbye from me. My name is Adonis. You can check me out at The Adelites on Twitter. And it's a very goodbye from Machiavelli at Ewan Metcalf on Twitter. Ewan?
Good night, God bless. I'm going to be vaccinations tomorrow, so hopefully I'll be back next week. But if I'm not, it's been a joy. God bless you all. Thoughts
and prayers for Ewan. And at Riot Badger.
Have a good week, and I will see you on the other side of Ewan's vaccination.
Hopefully.
I'm glad you said vaccination then.
He's Brazilian.
We'll definitely end it on that then. Most of our stats come from LUFC Stats or LUFC Data on Twitter. A very special thanks to Barney Stewart, Cook, Ewan and Howard Metcalf, Josh Pearson, Laura, Leon and Rob, The Light Show and all our family and friends.
So many games to play, don't care what's on your mind.